All right, so diving on into our second Runeterra deck of the day. Those of you that have been following my Runeterra content know that Lux is probably one of my favorite champions in the game. I think her, Fizz, and Teemo are my favorites. Her Final Spark animation is just truly fantastic. So 4-5 for 6 has barrier, so the turn she comes into play, she doesn't take damage the first time she gets hit. This means she's difficult to kill outside of something like Vengeance the first turn she comes down, which is fantastic. I climbed a bunch the other day and did well with this, so here's a big version of Endure. Thanks, Percy. I really appreciate the support. She levels up when you cast a +6 mana spell. In addition to getting a little bit bigger, she creates a Final Spark here, which is the beautiful animation I was talking about. So Final Spark is a free spell that is fleeting, so you have to use it the turn you get it. It does 4 damage to an enemy, and notably, it overwhelms. So any damage that goes past the thing that you're targeting's toughness blasts into your opponent's nexus. Our other champion in this deck is Thresh, which is another great controlling champion. 3-6 for 5 with Challenger, so we can force things to block him. So Thresh often, checks the smaller units that your opponent has on the board. Thresh is one of the more difficult champions to level up. We're definitely playing Thresh for his base mode, and if he levels up, it's upside. So if he sees 6+ units die, you get the bigger Thresh, which is better statted, and has the first time he attacks this game, he summons another attacking champion from our deck, which is great. Balabis, been a while, took a long magic vacation, and glad to see you're doing well. Congratulations on your newest member of your family. You're proposing on Saturday. Hope to have a family as wonderful as yours someday. Hey, congrats and good luck, Polly. Thanks for the 2 years. I appreciate it. Do units heal on the blimp? They do not. However, you can see here Thresh gains a toughness, so it will go up by 1, even if it's taken some damage. As far as top end in this deck goes, past Thresh and Lux, we have 3 copies of Rekindler here, which when this is summoned, it revives the strongest dead allied champion. So this can rebuy our copies of Thresh and Lux. Cards like Rekindler are also a way to get around the kind of one champion on board rule. So for example, if you've had a Lux die already, and you have another Lux in play, and then you play Rekindler, you could have 2 Luxes out simultaneously, which is quite powerful. And then the rest of the deck is just good, cheap removal in units. So you've got like Hapless Aristocrats, which is good in control, as well as Aggers, which is 2 bodies for the price of 1. Glimpse to generate some card advantage. Hapless feeds that well. We've got removal like Single Combat, Vile Feast, Blinding Assault. This build's actually not playing any copies of Ruination, which is kind of interesting. I suppose even though we're controlling, our deck plays a number of units, like Radiant Guardian and Grizzle Ranger and Sergeant, but I kind of wonder if we're supposed to have some amount of Ruination. I'm going to start with 0, because that's what the submitted list had, but I'm going to go ahead and keep that as something in our minds, the change we might possibly make after playing a few games. Yeah, that's a good thing to note. Unlike in a game like Magic, where like you track specifically what units are in discard piles, when Rekindler revives something, it doesn't take a specific copy, it creates a new one. So if you play multiple Rekindlers, you can get multiple of that champion out. Opponent playing Ash Shijani, which I think are cheap unit to start, as well as Vengeance and Skill Combat are both reasonable here. Unyielding Spirit is like a go big card that's really good with Lux, but we basically never want it in our opener. So, easy mulligan there. Sure. Yeah, that's technically correct. Remembrance is a great pickup here. Again, we can save our early mana across turns for spells. So there's a good chance our turn 3 play will be Remembrance after banking mana on turns 1 and 2. Show me Omen Hawk. Wow, is their deck broken, chat? I'm confused. Where's the Hawk?
Victory requires a sharp blade.
Where's the Squawk?
For glory.
So, I think this 5-1 actually means that I would rather play Vanguard Sergeant out here rather than Remembrance. A lot of the 5-mana Demacia followers that get created from this will trade with this, which is not something I necessarily want. And then our mana's actually lining up quite well here. I still have that. Whoa. Is that a good one, chat? Is that a good one? Okay, so we're definitely doing this. Do I play into Brittle Steel here? How do we feel about single combat here? I kind of like it. Kind of like it. We get Savage by Brittle Steel, which is a 1-cost burst spell that sets my thing's power to 0 by frostbiting it. But if they don't have exactly Brittle Steel, this turn's very good for us. I think Elixir of Iron is an acceptable thing to have happen there. Spoken into existence, something like that. Yeah, so something that's kind of universally true, Aetherwild, across card games is players, for whatever reason, I think it's for like feel smart reasons, they tend to overstate how important it is for something to be on meta or in meta, and they write things off as like moving really quickly when in reality it really doesn't a lot of the time. So I agree, the Demacia Bannerman is actually what I spent most of my time laddering up with this season. I think it's very reasonable. Ugh. Man, their draw has been brutal this game. Have not had good breaks in our favor. Yeah, I really like the shed. I really like if you're looking to kind of expand into other things and try other things with the base Bannerman deck, I think the Splash Shen version of it is very good. I think we're just dead at this point, right? I guess I like play a blocker. I guess we're not strictly dead. I can play a blocker, and then next turn I can Vengeance this. And like, it depends on what they have here, right? Because they can like still play more to the board here. If you check back on my YouTube page, All the Bishops, we played the Shen Bannerman deck at one point. The last Shen Fiora deck we played. And then almost assuredly opening attacks here.
Line up.
Excuse me? Okay. Huh. Am I still dead? I think I'm still dead because none of these are burst speed, right? I have 11 mana total. Yeah, because the beams she makes are slow, so I can't play those in combat. Yeah, right? Imagine having a Ruination here. It's like... To be fair, their hand is stacked, so like there's a good chance if you Ruination there, we still lose. I have a question. If I Ruination with Lux in play, do I get a Final Spark or no? I think the answer is no. Styles, thank you for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. You do not. Okay, yeah, that's probably... I don't know that this is a Ruination deck. Like I said, our opponent's interaction lined up very fortunately into what our curve looked like that game. So we knew we were going to get punished by a Brittle Steel with a play that we made, and then we got punished by it, and then they also had Culling Strike for Thresh. It's just not a good scene for us at all. I think we full mulligan here. against the deep looking for cheaper units, we gotta somehow try and be aggressive in this matchup. So the opponent has a lot of go over the top power. All right, we have turn 3 Remembrance attacking on odds, so it's about as aggressive as we get, I think. Hope to high roll us a moose. Yeah, I agree. I don't think, looking back at it, I don't think the plays I made were wrong. We just, like, sometimes you make the right plays and just lose, right? That's life. Hey, thanks for the 31 months, Trumpet. I appreciate it. If you haven't poked at Runeterra, I'd heavily encourage you to give it a try. If you're someone like myself that really enjoyed, like, GRN standard, like, major vibes of that. Just an incredible depth of decks that are interesting to play. And not only just, like, are there a lot of decks, but, like, the decks are unique in their play patterns. The range of what they do. There aren't just, like, a bunch of different flavors of Growth Spiral and Uro. Man, I know I just said we're the aggro deck. Do I just burn their mana here, though? Burning their mana has to be wrong, right? If we were the control deck in the matchup, burning their mana would be correct. So, for people that are new, the way the priority system works is they pass to me, assuming I'm going to attack. So they're playing the deep. So if I attack, they get a chance to play a card. But if I just pass, the turn ends. I think because we're the beatdown in this matchup, I'm supposed to attack. And again, this is like the strategic depth of Runeterra. Because I know what deck they're playing, even though they haven't played a card, I get to make better decisions and make better plays that are informed, even though the game's just getting started. That's huge in my mind. Hey, Blitz Legend, thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. For Thresh, Ash Harrowing. Sounds good. I'll get it queued up. I'm gonna play Grizzled Ranger here. If they want to hook this, it makes a 3/4 when it dies, so like more power to you. Set the hooks. I'm gonna block here because this way this isn't jumping next turn. So putting this to 2, so they have a grasp in their hand, is what this means. Sure. For Overwatch tomorrow, are we doing sub games? I am Blitz Legend. So if you're a Twitch sub who's interested in hanging out and playing some Overwatch together while we do our variety segment tomorrow, make sure you're in the subs Discord. We're going to coordinate the other games channel there. Again, because I think we're the beatdown, I don't really need the lifesteal or the tough on this. I'm just going to play this out as a 5/5 and smash them.
Virtue guides me.
Corruption everywhere. You defile the grove.
Sweet Trumpet. RQR Master X85. Thank you for the 54 months. That is an incredibly long time. One of the OGs. Okay, I think, like I said, I think this matchup's a little bit hard for us, but the fact that we knew the matchup we were playing and we're able to lean into our aggressive role here has been huge. I think we just Lux, right?
The sun is shining.
It could be right to single combat or consecrated strike, kill this, but I kind of want to get set up to open attacks next turn. Some of these deep decks have been playing Ruination. I also, if I open attacks, Maokai being in play is less of a big deal. Wanderer! Thank you for the very generous tier 3 sub. I appreciate the third of a year. Welcome back. Okay. So this lets them hook this. This could let them... They played earlier like they had a grasp, so we could see them hook Lux here. So now I expect them to grasp her next turn inside of combat. But that won't be a big deal because we have a prismatic barrier. We can even level her inside of combat too, which is nice. Just wanted to say I support taking better care of your mental health by taking a break from Magic to try other things. Thanks for showcasing new and interesting games. I appreciate that. It's been fun. If the variety segments keep being good, I think even if we do dip back into a little bit of Magic, those will be something we keep doing. I've definitely enjoyed them a lot personally so far. That's the part where they Ruination me. I think if they Ruination me, we draw 2 and play Radiant Guardian. Just a missed call. Sure. Nope, he does not need to see them happen. So Maokai, he doesn't have to see it, just his units have died or cards have been tossed. So it gives Maokai is part of the reason why we need to be the beatdown here. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. So that's a 2-cost spell played. I'm going to play Hapless Aristocrat here. Then I'm going to eat it with a Glimpse. If we draw another 2-mana card here, we could make a Laser Beam and level up Lux. Nailed it. Nailed it, chat. Actual best draw on the deck.
I've been hiding my life too long.
I'm gonna play in any tournament soon. I don't know. So anyways, we started blasting. Yeah, and the unyielding spirit here is huge too. Because if they try and Ruination us next turn, we like save Lux in response and just dominate. Good players draw their good cards. Ain't that the truth? Good players know what cards they need to draw and play to those outs. Is the less facetious version of that. Deep doesn't done Ruination. We've gotten Ruination out of the Deep this week, just for reference. Who's got 2 thumbs is going to open attack next turn? This guy right here.
Begin in battle.
A scout attack. Nope. Nope. Ship it. A superior tactic is to never give up, chat. Lux with the real life advice. Misfortune Quinn. Okay. Almost assuredly an aggro matchup. Definitely mulliganing the Unyielding Spirit. Like I said, never want that in the opener. I'm gonna mulligan these two, looking for some other cheap cards. Yeah, super reasonable. I am definitely going to have 5D chess on my schedule again next week. Had a lot of really good feedback from people saying they enjoyed it. So next week we're gonna finish the puzzles and probably attempt to play an actual game or two with it. And if you missed our session of 5D chess yesterday, it's up on YouTube like everything else. If you go to the front page of my YouTube page, there's actually a variety games playlist up there now that'll have all the non-Runeterra stuff added to it. Sounds good, Coons. Soldiers to me. Is like play another 3/3 here?
The Demacian soldier is worth 10 foes. Raise the banner. Lift our spirits.
Bannermen in your deck playing Petty Officer and Jagged Butcher and Misfortune, that's bold. It's like a third of your deck is misses. That's a lot. Like, so this card has Alliance, so it only does this effect if the top card of their deck is a Bannerman. Oh, for people that didn't see 5D chess yesterday, I have a really good summary. Where was it? I tweaked too much, chat. This. Here's a Twitch clip that has a really good summary of it. So you just play Thresh out here, and now if they want to attack, I need to trade a bunch of stuff off and level Thresh.
Please, I have connections.
Please, I have connections. Where can you find my Bannerman deck at? We've played it, look on the YouTube channel and website. Yeah, I'll probably do some spoiler season type content when that comes up. Usually when I do spoiler season type content, I wait till there's a little bit more of the set available. I'm also going to be a couple of Runeterra podcasts asked me if I was interested in coming on, so probably going to do that. We'll probably talk about stuff on those the next couple months. So this is leveled, so I want to open on attacks here with him, so that way I get my Lux into play right away. Because when he attacks, he summons another champion out of my deck. So let's start with that, I think. Yeah, Twin Sons, and I think Runeterra is the other one. Seemed like a good way to introduce myself to some of the community that's not familiar with me. I'll tweet them out when I do them, and their episodes come up. I'll tweet them out and put their links in the subs Discord as always, and we'll plug them on stream for a couple of days afterwards, most likely too.
Demacia needs heroes.
The 5D chest clip is great, and I hate it. It's definitely great. All right, so I totes just vengeance this, which levels her, which lets me blast this, right? Okay, so in Runeterra, your spells only count as cast if they resolve. So that fight as one there, in addition to putting this to 2 life, denied my 7 mana card from happening.
There's nothing like it.
So let's go ahead and 4 Demacia here, which not only makes my things huge, but levels Lux. God, a second single combat here. That's brutal. They Who Endure is the Aristocrat Styles deck. Drain. Vile Feast. I could Vile Feast it, yeah. Probably the line. It makes my spider a 4/4 too, because the way 4 Demacia works out. I don't get a final spark, but we're still in an okay spot here. Sick.
Alright, let's mess some folks up.
Let's mess some folks up.
I need more hands!
So these are scouts, which means that they attack first. My opponent, I get another combat step here. So these will attack. This will happen. This will die. I get a 3/4. They get a chance to play things here before we attack again, but we will have another attack step. I don't think it matters which 3/2 we kill here. Hey, Geg. Thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, Thresh pulled the Lux for us already. This box is another Thresh, so if this Thresh dies, it's not a big deal. Actually, it actually would be kind of beneficial if this Thresh could die, so this one could fish us up another Lux.
Take the losing side!
Fortune favors the bold.
I think I'm okay with letting them get to combat next turn.
The wood can't fight back, but I can.
We just do this. I guess I could do this. And then we can Consecrated Strike, kill this.
Discipline and steel!
This might be wrong.
Belong to us.
I think I'd rather kill Misfortune here, because this is going to turn into a 5/1, right? Which means even my spider can kill it in combat. And actually, I'd probably rather have these two strike it. Because these are a little bit harder to kill than my thing on 2 toughness. Although I guess they're already hitting this in combat. They have their 3rd single combat, we could be in trouble. I guess they could have their own copy of Consecrated Strike as well. Wait. Okay, so now we do this in response. And again, the eye knows all. It's just going to show us how combat's going to work out. My opponent really should have put a Teferi in their deck. Stop me from interacting a little bit here. Oh, wait. We don't have terrible cards in this game.
My shield is yours. Hold nothing back.
Okay, they're on empty here.
I protect my own.
Don't jinx it. We don't know what cards are in the next set. I have faith. Ooh, that's a good draw. Delightful agony. So this is gonna fetch us up a Lux with the barrier. I attacked with my 1/1 here because if they want to block my 1/1 with their 5/5 single combat, lets me kill this with the Lux. Howdy, Elvish.
I'm sorry. Nothing gets between me and my mark.
Oh, I could have just Demacia'd to level. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
You'll pay. Better, brighter than before.
It turns out, Elvish Rage, it is easier to be happy when you don't dread going to work in the morning. Turns out.
Virtue guides me. The superior tactic is to never give up.
Woo! Thresh got us the challenger units. That's exciting. Hey, Pervidia, thank you for the 10 months. I really appreciate the continued support. Welcome back. Adorable shark. I really like the Nightshade Gromp. Am I supposed to change the shark? I really like the Gromp. I'm gonna keep the Gromp. Change my sleeve. Feels like a Gromp kind of deck. Opponent is playing Misfortune Ezreal, probably something aggressive leaning. Glimpse seems fine. We're gonna mulligan Rekindler here. Don't want that in the opener basically ever. The 5D chess was a lot of fun. Had a really good feedback on that segment yesterday, and we're gonna play it again next week for sure.
Lilies, where are you?
Where are you?
Let's get out of here.
That's true. This new board is gorgeous, but I should get a little variety in.
So pretty.
There are a ton of great cosmetics in this game. I think I'm just banking spell mana for now.
Wait.
Click that link if you need a preview of 5D chess.
The Demacian soldier is worth 10 foes.
Something subtle I love about Runeterra is because you're drawing a card each turn, it increases the tempo and tension of the match longer games where everyone is top decking. Yeah, and honestly, because both players are playing every turn and each player draws a card every turn, there's also just less top decking situations. Part of the reason why there's so much in-game player agency in Runeterra is because you have more choices to make because you have more cards available to you.
Good guys, but not them.
Are we practicing writing letters? Numbers. It's pretty cool. There's a what? There's cars outside my office. Alright, close my door, please.
3 is 4, and 1 4 is 5.
Correct. You are correct. Close the door, please. Alright, what are we doing here? I think it's just another Vanguard Sergeant.
Discipline and steel.
Got a surprise for him. Quickly!
Oh yeah, the RTX does not always love the kids' voices. Correct, yeah, you also don't have to worry about drawing blanks in Runeterra like in Magic, which is refreshing. How do we feel? This is going to deal 2, actually, right?
You will not prevail.
I'm going to trade here. How do we feel about putting this here and then eating it with Glimpse? Because I don't really want to trade my 3-2 for their 1-1. I think I like that. They can have, like, a removal spell here in response, but I think that's fine.
Mwah.
Set him off.
Found one!
This is a random 1-cost spell, in addition to a tuning. You only draw blanks in Runeterra when you put Warning Shot in your deck. Fight me. Well, if you insist. Listen, my favorite card in Runeterra, Riptide Rex, loves Warning Shot. Don't dunk on Rex's buddy. Yeah, I agree, Revenge. The misers in there that you occasionally grab with Zap is good. Opponent's deck is weird. Yeah, I think they're probably playing Ezreal as more of just a good tempo card rather than like something they're actively trying to level. And they probably have sharks in their deck, speaking of, that occasionally just level it up fully. That being said, drawing cards so often makes it so whoever is ahead stays ahead. I don't think that's strictly true. I think getting ahead and staying ahead is more dictated by the types of cards in your deck and the way your deck is built. So, for example, controlling decks tend to have an easier time playing catch-up because they play card advantage and sweepers, so it's easier to play from behind in those decks. Those are decks that are designed to play from behind, essentially. I think we just Lux here. Her having a barrier is really good.
Too.
When you think about the vault system in Legends of Runeterra, I think comparing the vault in Runeterra to the vault in Arena is an insult to how good the vault is in Runeterra. Because the vault in Arena is so awful. At one point, the devs lied to us and told us it was temporary and going to go away, so people would stop being pissed off about how awful it was. And again, the barrier here on Lux, just making it so these don't want to attack here. Just very good at controlling the board here just by existing. So that's a 2-mana spell. So if I play these 2 blinding assaults out, I get a laser beam. And that lie worked because everyone forgot about it. Yup. Yup. Alright, so they're putting some poison puff caps in my deck here. So these get attached to my cards, and if I draw a card with a puff cap on it, it does some damages to me. So we cast 6 total mana worth of spells here, so we get a Final Spark. So anyways, I started blasting. Go, go, go. Go, go, Gadget Lux. And look at this. The eye even tells me I'm going to get a Final Spark here. It's so good. Why is it so good, chat? Why is it so good? Yeah, Lux even lived through that. And I get priority after here, so I get to go ahead and blast this before it can attack me. Do I rekindler? I think I rekindler.
We burn, then kindle anew.
Gotta go with the flow.
Thanks for the 13 months, Pelly. I appreciate it. Welcome back.
Let's brighten up their day.
We have a barrier here to protect Lux, hopefully push lethal. Try Demacian Magic. This thing seems sweet.
Did we win?
Yeah, make it rain and shark both make leveling Ezreal very easy. Hey, howdy, Pierster. Well, if you missed my live ones and you occasionally want to catch up, you can always catch replays cut up by deck on my YouTube channel and my website. Everything gets posted there the evening after it gets streamed live. All right, Ash Sajani. I think we're full mulliganing here, looking for cheaper plays. Ash Sajani with the Noxious Splash is more of an aggressive deck, and these are all pretty slow cards. We'll want them in the late game, but not to begin with. This hand's very reasonable. We have the option of Vile Feast into Sergeant or just turn 3 Remembrance. The fact that we're attacking on, the fact that they're attacking on odds probably means I'm going to want to Vile Feast into Sergeant. We'll see. It'll depend on how they play too. Like if they play like an Omen Hawk or the 5-1 with Challenger, we'll be Vile Feasting early. But otherwise, we might just Remembrance to start. His hand's got some choices. That makes it really appealing to wait to Remembrance, because I get to just go 1, 2, 3, 4 now.
Where are you?
It's perfect draw. Actual best draw on the deck. No. And because our 2-drop here is a spell, we can wait on this. Well, that's unfortunate. That's the 5-1 I was talking about, but it got boosted by the Hawk.
Discipline.
Pretty okay with this trade, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this out and offer it.
A chill in the air.
It's super unfortunate. Now this gets to eat it. But I was gonna change the game board. Do that after this match. Got it. Still an hour left with this deck, so plenty of time to explore new boards. Do I want to Valor? I think so. I could Grizzled Ranger and attack twice, but I think I want to Valor because it lets me bank 2 mana to have a single combat down the line. Could also give me the option to Remembrance next turn. Animation is so good. Just like random. What's the rarity on this card? Does anybody tell? How do you tell the rarity on a card? Is it a common, an uncommon, or an epic? Does anybody know? Just like, it's a rare? Sure. Random rares in this game have better animations than Mythics and Arena. Blue Gem is rare. Got it. I want to be honest, this tells you how much I pay attention when I'm building decks. How many rarities are there? Are there 4 or 5 rarities? There's 4, green, blue, purple. There isn't a common rarity then? Oh, there isn't an uncommon. It goes common, rare, epic, mythic. Or champion. Champion is the 4th. Common, rare, epic, champion. Okay. I think I just do this. Oh, I should have attacked with these. Oh, I then had scout. Duh. Can still attack, chat. It's all calculated. I didn't make a mistake. You made a mistake. Man, that card is good. I'm up. At least we're still at 20. So we're gonna go to 16 here. I think with this draw, we just start by attacking.
Few earn the right to call themselves Trifarian.
Man, this thing drawing off of itself is so good. So powerful. What if I cast this as Fog? Is that crazy? I kind of want to cast this as Fog. For Runeterra players, Fog is a magic word that means they skip their combat step, because I think if I cast this, it means they're not going to attack this turn. Now with that, they might still attack, but I think I'm pretty okay with that, right? I'd be like, eat this, trade, eat. Or maybe even just like, trade, eat. Take one. Yeah. I know Glimpse in response to culling, because I want Glimpse to enable Radiant Guardian this turn. Maybe that's greedy. Is that greedy and wrong? Okay, and that was a scout attack, so I get another attack here, which is great.
On one arrow.
Maybe I'm supposed to... Oh, Thresh can't kill this currently. Awkward.
Only the finest serve.
Oh, this card is so good.
You will be scoured from this land.
At least Ash isn't leveled yet. Yeah, second Assessor has a lot of card advantage. Am I drawing here? I think I'm drawing here. They are a Lux Sajani deck.
The Mossian soldier is worth 10 foes.
Ash Sajani, sorry, definitely said Lux, you're right. We're the Lux deck.
Stand together. I'll show you how it's done.
Hold back the darkness.
Yeah, we did a couple of expeditions back when we first started playing. You can find them up on my YouTube channel if you scroll back. Yeah, and in general, limited is not really my thing though.
Cold. I misjudged.
Alright, what else they got here? It's a ton of cards. Yeah, Frostbite plus Culling Strike. Very, very good. If you have a Yeti, summon an Enraged Yeti. Otherwise, put one on top of your deck. Or just create it on top of your deck. That's sweet with Ancient Yeti. Yeah, really wish I had a Ruination here. For sure. I'm in danger. I like Just making one Final Spark isn't enough here. I think I Grizzled Ranger and Blinding Assault and attack. And then we can Thresh and attack and finish something else out.
Alright, let's mess some folks up.
The problem is that, like, while we can check a couple of the things that are currently on the board, they're gonna have, like, they have like an entire handful of stuff still. I don't have enough mana to Lux Valor buff. That's 14. Play Thresh before Scout attacking for souls. Yeah, it's probably true. If they have their one-sided sweeper here, we're just in anyways. Reckoning. Yeah. This matchup seems hard. We felt competitive in the other places, but that deck, the Ashe Johnny deck's definitely the best deck in the format right now, and definitely have not felt particularly competitive there. Yeah, yeah, like I said, I don't think we're supposed. I agree that it's correct to play the Thresh, and like getting blown out there doesn't really change anything. They were playing an off variant of it. Can you explain what you think was off about their variant? I've been super underwhelmed by the They Who Endure builds. Just not been impressed. Oh yeah, the Overwhelm Yetis, that's true. Those are off meta. Yeah.
That's the egg. Did it move?
Yeah, I definitely think there's decks that are fine against the Asta Johnny deck, just like this just isn't one of them. Definitely did not intend to imply, if you felt that I did, that their deck was unbeatable.
Just a moment.
Could not be further from the truth. Yeah, Thresh isn't a very good piece of removal in that matchup, because not only are their things big, but they also have a lot of frostbites.
Carve a path.
That's annoying, but I get to bank 3 mana into 4 more here, so we get to Vengeance this.
Noxus!
Just want to keep my health total high here. I'm up. This is a good trade. I feel like I could go either way. I think the answer is dear Riot, please give me an option to lock the window size. If I had one feature request, that is it. That's my feature request. Please give me an option to lock the window size in windowed mode. I play windowed on my center desktop, and occasionally when I go to grab a card on my hand, I grab it from the bottom here and drag it up and it shrinks it. Have some burned mana. Enjoy.
Bow to no one.
They're always a black bar. Where? Why windowed mode? Cause you can see, cause I have my Twitch chat up here next to it, so I can read all of your wonderful messages. I want chat in my line of sight. I have 3 monitors, but in order to put chat on another monitor, it would involve having to move my head to have it in my immediate field of vision. So I have 3 screens with one on either side with the information that I occasionally need access to. But I enjoy interacting with you all, so I would prefer to have your messages right in my immediate field of vision.
Virtue guides me.
How do you feel about Consecrated Strike here? We get savaged by harsh winds? Maybe we do just pass. I don't hate that.
A true Falyorian welcome.
I refuse.
Nah, I think hoping for Reckoning there is greedy.
Call themselves Trifarian.
You made a car? That's really cool. You gonna show the internet your car? That's pretty cool. You and Mom and Jake did some crafts? I like it.
TP for Cub Scouts.
Oh, it's an activity for Cub Scouts? That's pretty cool.
TP well from.
No matter what it's for, it can still be fun. Oh god. What, chat? Why didn't you tell me I was gonna die when I came back? I was so excited for a second. And now I came back and I'm dead? I love you, close the door. He's very excited that we're gonna die. Thanks, child. Love you. This is a remembrance, not a Fortimacia.
To get me out of here.
I guess this could technically hook this next turn. Yeah, I guess I should have blocked with this, huh? I guess if I lead on this, I can open on attacks. I hope they don't have any decimates in hand. Those would kill us. Ooh.
You will be scoured from this land.
You want to only scout attacks? No, scout attacks is bad against Ice Veil Archer. It's also not stellar against, Sajani. I need to get a hit in with this so I gain 5 before they can frostbite me at slow speed.
Fight they want.
Let's see what you've got.
Yeah, any random big thing also not good for us. I could... Maybe I'm supposed to drain that in response, so I keep my Valor. Probably supposed to drain that in response to keep my Valor. Three cards. Oh, God, that worked. I was not prepared for that to work, chat. What's the best place to put your money? I'd recommend finding a constructed deck and then just playing that. Why not say Valor? Because I messed up. Do we want to Remembrance? I think so. We can get a, if we're really lucky, we'll high roll into the Radiant Guardian. Yeah, opponent's deck's got a lot of beef in it with Kato and Farron.
Carved from the savage code.
Alright, let's mess some folks up.
Go time!
Watch, learn.
Up top!
I think we're dead to Decimate post-combat, right? Not quite. Yeah, 0 Lux and 16 cards is not a great live-in. We're only mostly dead. Do I eat this with Glimpse to draw 2 cards here? I think the answer is yes. Well, they didn't have a Fury in the north. What delightful agony we shall inflict. Alright, so we need to fade Harsh Winds here. Where are you? Oh no! Oh no! Bonus emote game is on point. Alright, we're definitely opening attacks.
Banish the unworthy.
Show them our teeth.
Yep, we're gonna get to single combat the Hawk here. Oh. The fact that you can't Harsh Winds at burst speed is so brutal. There isn't a ton of counterplay to that one. It's expensive, but it is so, yeah, the fact that you can't like respond with single combat or anything like that is tough. I don't know, it's interesting. I'd be interested to see like what the win rates are. Like I said, I think there's some decks that are fine against the opponent's archetype. I think our deck is kind of uniquely bad against it with what we're trying to do. Yeah, something I've heard that too. Like they want the freeze things. If the freeze spells were fast, you can't respond to them with pump spells, which is a big deal. So like making them fast makes them better in other situations, which is an interesting balance to have, right? Like the fact that you can't respond to it is tough for things like single combat, but the fact that it's burst makes pump spells better against it.
Where are you?
Yeah, I knew that. There are actually zero fast speed frostbites thinking currently.
So young.
We're just gonna bank spell mana for now.
A Demacian soldier is worth 10 foes.
10 foes.
We march!
These old eyes still see far and clear.
I might just Remembrance here if they don't open attacks. They don't really have very good open attacks, so I kind of expect them to do something. Bark Beast, sure. I suppose I could also just play Grizzled Ranger out here, and then I could try and Remembrance high roll after something's died in case I hit the, in case I hit Radiant Guardian. Slow down, will ya?
In Avarosa's name!
Get her out from the darkness.
I protect my own.
Yeah, I meant on my following turn, Felcro. You are correct that we are not casting Remembrance this turn. Well, I mean, the last 3 days have been good, Corel. We're also doing a little bit of variety stuff. Played some 5D chess yesterday. We wrapped up with a roguelike deck builder on Tuesday. We're going to do another different one today. Read. Deck like rogue builder. Oh, Sean. Sean is a treasure.
I'll take him dead or near in love.
It's a good one. Ah, we got those backwards, Chit. Wanted that one last turn.
Banish the unworthy!
Consecrated Strike or do we Vengeance? I think we just Vengeance. I don't want them. They could have some kind of Frostbites in their deck. I'm gonna get blown out by that.
You can see the Demacian border from here.
They have 9 mana this turn now too, so like using Vengeance last turn means they get to line up a Scout plus a Strike here. That's definitely a punish for using Vengeance. I guess I should know that based on the cards they're playing.
Guard our homes.
Hold back the darkness!
Yeah, usually they don't Frostbite. You're correct. They who did not manage to endure that last turn. Yep.
Another day in paradise.
Look out for Reavers.
Yep. Terrain to 7 here. Yeah, collectors do not trigger on themselves. They are other.
I fight for the fallen.
Come closer. I don't fight.
So they'll block this here. I mean, I get to kill Neverglade Collector at least. It's like I'm only taking 3 from these, and I'm gaining 5. Oh, I'm taking 1 from that too. So I'm taking 4, gaining 5, so I gain 1. Really like to draw another removal spell. Hey, Subpar Nova. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thank you for the 12 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back.
Go down, will you?
So I played the 4 Demacia there as a fog. Just stop their attack. Pretty sure we just open attacks here with everything.
You will be scoured from this land.
Wow, just packing it in. Okay. Yeah, the Ash and Johnny matchups felt hard. The app matchups felt pretty good. I think I'm gonna cut. Thinking on the Ash and Johnny matchup, I think I'm gonna cut the. I think I'm gonna cut this Unyielding Spirit for a 3rd Vengeance, having removal for their key threat seems important, and Consecrated Strike's kind of awkward there. I think I'm happy with the rest of what we have going on so far. Let's get another piece of spot removal in. Does Jeff build his own decks? It's a mix of the two. So a lot of the decks, probably a majority of the decks that we play are viewer submissions. If you have your own sweet Runeterra deck, you can follow the directions on my website here to get it played on stream at some point in the not too distant future. And then other times people submit just like deck ideas, like the Fizz Teemo deck. Someone was like, hey Jeff, can you just build a Fizz Teemo deck? I don't know. So like, okay, I think we're full mulliganing here, looking for cheaper stuff. Maybe Thresh is keepable. Maybe Thresh is keepable. This is fine. So sorry, Ruination. A lot of the times when the Ash Lux decks are burying us, it involves that card that draws a card for every 5+ power thing they play out, which means, like, even if we Ruination, they're still just gonna run us over. That doesn't surprise me, Beetle. People hate respecting aggro. Yeah, I agree with Fatal there. Our deck plays to the board a lot. Like, we're definitely a control deck, but a lot of our control is units on the board. How does Vengeance solve that problem? Because being able to kill key cards like Ashe and Sajani can often help get them, can often help stop us from losing tempo. So the way we lose to the Ashe Sajani deck feels like we get tempoed by their bigger cards that like frostbite as they attack. So being able to kill those cards and not get blown out by their frostbites while doing so seems valuable. It's been good, YZ. It's felt very reasonable against everything that's not Ashe Sajani, and Ashe Sajani's been rough. Is it dominating the meta? In general, I try not to give strong opinions on things that should be data-driven off the cuff. That's a bad timeout. I think that's a fine question to ask, especially for people that are new here. Let's undo that one if we can. So like, yeah, questions like that, is it dominating? Like, that's a data-driven question that should have a data-driven answer. I shouldn't just like substitute my feelings for like what should be powered by information. I don't think that's true, or like, again, the games that I'm losing against that deck, they're keeping up with us on card advantage and they're tempoing us. So I feel like trying to keep up on board rather than trying to reset the board is bad because their hand tends to be full. So when we Ruination them a lot of the time, they're still going to have plenty of stuff to gas back up with. Hey, Godsire, thank you for the 14 months. I really appreciate you keeping me around. Shout out to all my regulars that have stuck through the various changes the channel has gone through. Checking out lots of new games with us now. I think I'm okay trading this for this, right? Yeah, I feel like to maximize that, our deck just has to be a different deck, though, or like, I feel like what you're describing, because of like how much this deck plays to the board, just isn't ideal. Like playing Ruination, our deck like full of Radiant Guardians and like Grizzled Scouts and other stuff just doesn't sound stellar. When you say playing against the Sajani deck can feel overwhelming, that I would agree with. That's a take I'm willing to give. Sajani is frequently overwhelming. Thresh getting to see all these die is great.
Lovely day for a battle.
He's gonna be so happy. I own you. I don't know that we really need extra game against Ruination decks. We also like haven't played against any of those, so I don't know that I have a super strong opinion either way there. I'm just gonna go ahead and Lux here.
We can do this.
Because I can level this on demand with the Glimpse here if we need to. Man, our opponents are like really good at drawing Never Really Collector today. Another Vengeance. You love to see it. They do have, this is the They Who Endure turn, right? Super glad I stumbled onto your channel when you started Runeterra. Happy to see you enjoy the game so much. Looking forward to more. Thank you for the 2 months, Innuendo. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Alright, so can no longer get...
I've been hiding my light too long.
Can no longer get They Who Endured this turn. Atrocity could be a real concern. So we're going to take 3, 4, 5 here, down to 4. It's my favorite game board in Music. Probably this one. I think Slaughternox is pretty S tier for Music.
A beacon through the dark.
Yeah, so their plan for development for this game, Corel, is every 2 months they're going to release a set, and every 6 months, so every third set will add a region or color. Man, they played this well. Man, they played... I should have held on to the final spark, I guess. Going to 1.
Lilies, where are you?
Where are you?
We can do this.
You have to get me out of here.
Light the signal fires.
So we do this. I can Remembrance, which gives me a thing. So we're dead. We're dead to Atrocity now.
By the light.
Yeah, remember when I added a third Vengeance to our deck? Alright, so I have to fade exactly Atrocity here. Down to the wire. Atrocity would let them sacrifice this to kill us in response. I guess second They Who Endure also kills us. I think they're through all 3 collectors. So a few cards we've got to fade. I don't remember if they're through 2 or 3. The games have blurred a little bit. Want to do these like this, so this levels Lux, and then this gets 2 more on her. How's it felt? It's felt good against things that aren't Sedge Ash and bad against Sedge Ash. Oh, she was already at 4 of 6. You're right. It's fine. They're not going to play anything else out anyways. Purify? That's actually not a bad suggestion. That's a 2 mana answer. These are scouts, so we'll get attacking with them first. That's a 2 mana answer to Frostbite. That is really like a really good suggestion.
We each died, then found home.
Really, really close game. Really close game.
Did we win?
Did we win? Listen, Lux, weren't you paying attention? There were 2 of you. There were 2 of you, Lux. Hey, I like to end on a high note. I've been going for about 90 minutes with this, so I think that's a good spot to end it. Yeah, I don't know. So, again, the matchup that felt really challenging was the Ash Sajani deck. I think adding another Vengeance there really helps. I think there's a good chance I was too aggressive with my Vengeances in that matchup, and if I prioritize saving them for their Sajanis and Ashes, maybe I end up in a better spot. I think there's a chance that Consecrated Strike, maybe this card's not good enough in a format where Ash Sajani is a deck that you care about. A card that could potentially be playable that also drags our curve down nicely is Mage Seeker Instigator is a card. The only way to put decks into the queue with Shillings is to hit Shillionaire. Yeah, Consecrated Strike, it's okay. It's just like with Frostbites everywhere, it just gets blown out a lot. Mage Seeker Investigator is like a cheap play that can trade in combat, and the Tain, it generates Detains late, which are useful as well between our Remembrances and our Vengeances. We could trigger this. Now, it could definitely be that, like, with only 6 ways to trigger this, we're a little bit light on ways to do that. You swapped yours out for Riposte. 3-0 and Barrier this round. Yeah, I could see that being okay. Our deck is very unit-based. This lets Thresh trade up into things. You can use it post Frostbite. I think I like this one better than the Poro ones. You could play straight up to Tain. I don't know. I've been kind of... Intensify. I type right. I've been kind of underwhelmed by that card in the past. You could also play a split of Detain with Riposte. I like the idea of Riposte a lot. I feel like if you wanted to work on this felt like a reasonable build. One of the better Lux decks I've definitely played so far. I think I would work on trying other things over Consecrated Strikes because of this card's weakness against things that Frostbite. I think there's also a chance that, like, maybe Vile Feast isn't stellar right now. Yeah, we talked about playing Purify 2. The fact that like this doesn't work on champions is a big deal though in that matchup, because like their Luxes or their Ashes and their Sajanis are often the things they're pumping. So like I kind of feel like maybe you cut like a Vile Feast in the strikes, you play like 2 Detains and 2 Riposte, I think is where I would. I'm gonna leave this one in my deck editor because I felt like I'll probably revisit this one at some point or off stream even. But I think I like the suggestion of Riposte, and I think I'd go 2 Ripostes and 2 Detains over the 3 strikes and the Vile Feast that we had. Where pasta's 4, you're thinking about the other barrier card, Lux's spell. But still, even at 4, it's easier to cast than a 5. All right, at any rate, that's going to wrap up for our Runeterra stuff for the day. If you're a new viewer, thanks for dropping in. I'll be back with more Runeterra tomorrow. If you're enjoying the me personally and not just the game, we're going to hang out and play something else here. We're going to wrap up with a sponsored segment for a deck building RPG game called Banners of Rune today that just went into early access on Steam. So would love it if y'all would hang out for that. But if you're just here for Runeterra, I'll be back with more of that tomorrow. We do about 2 decks every single day. Check out my website, my YouTube channel as well. Absolutely everything I stream gets cut up and archived there. So if you miss any of those decks, they'll get posted to both of those places later this evening. All right, let's get Banners of Rune loaded up, huh?